seeing if he can prove me wrong. For Infernalis Esports, it is PureLegacy.
His opponent in the bottom left, in the red, walking the sweet steps of the Buddha, or whatever his Twitter handle or Twitter profile says. He is for Alpha X. It's Future.
That's a very funny tweet. Is that what his Twitter account says?
It's walking in the righteous steps of the Buddha, I think, something like that.
Oh my god, that's brilliant. I love that. Future, and Future's a pretty funny guy. He's, I would say, pretty charismatic. There's a few NA Terrans that he has kind of become the leader of their cabal. Someone you may have heard of in the chat. If you know the NA scene, you know him probably. Jehefe is one of them. There's a few other Terrans that, for some reason, I can't think of the other Terrans, but he has been kind of, you know, homies with a few of the NA Terrans for a while, and I kind of think of him as like the ringleader, and it's pretty neat. But yeah, Future, he is a phenomenal micro player. I think he is going to be the heavy favorite coming into this series, but who knows? PureLegacy, we don't really know what his form is. He was saying in the early lobby chat that he wasn't feeling too confident about his play, but we'll see.
Yeah, you know, TVT is funny because on the one hand, it very much feels, if you're a certain type of TVT player, that the better player always wins. Say Maru, for example, where he just understands the matchups so freaking well that it doesn't matter how, or Ryung, who it doesn't matter how far they fall behind, they just kind of end up winning anyways. But on the flip side, you have a lot of players that really hate TVT and they don't play it all that much, or they don't have the opportunity to play it all that much, or at the high level. So then it really feels like this matchup that there's enough wiggle room in there that you can see these weird upsets. I don't know where Future exists on that scale, but I'm excited to find out.
Future is definitely an extremely strong micro player. Now, I will say right out of the gate, he does something that I'm not particularly fond of right there. He face checks the ramp with one Reaper and no SCV to tank. Now, fortunately for him, he doesn't get punished. He's able to get away in time, but it's a bit of a weird maneuver. Now, we are going to see a very strange situation where both players went with double Reaper across the map at the same time. It seems like not too much happened there for either side, but Future manages to pick off a free SCV. PureLegacy didn't get anything done, and now the Reapers of Future are going to show up in the natural expansion. They're going to find the SCV building the command center, and as long as he doesn't get jumped before his third Reaper shows up in his second Hellion, he should be able to deny this command center almost indefinitely. Oh, please. Oh, go back in. Go back in. Go, 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 go.
The limited time here, but oh, great shots there on the Hellions. And that being said, command center is still delayed. Oh, he gets it. Now,
oh, the SCV from the back.
Oh, the backside attack.
Wasn't expecting that third gas to be there, so nice job from PureLegacy. Grenades do hit, but Future stays way too long right there and throws away all those units. Still does get 4 SCVs. It's a little bit expensive though.
That was, you talk about Future, excuse me, as this excellent micro player. That was some really weird micro from Future.
Towards the end, definitely a big overcommitment. His eyes got bigger than his army. Normally you'd say his eyes got bigger than his stomach, but in this case I'm just going to say army because, well, actually eyes got bigger than his stomach kind of works as well. Actually, I like that. I'm going to start using that.
No, I mean, hey, it's fair. It's about 7 o'clock right now. It's past dinner time. My eyes are certainly feeling very large as well, so I understand Steadfast. Hellion dives into the natural, doesn't get much done, and the Cyclone gets the lock on the medevac on the high ground, but even still, it's got to run away because there are tanks and there are Marines. But as the Viking arrives, PureLegacy actually, okay, he will be able to boost onto a terrain that he can release his payload and actually not worry about things, not worry about losing that tank. Even still, though, Future does a good job defending his position. Oh, he still loses the tank!
He ordered it! He got it. He killed the tank. Only 2 wounded Marines get out, and they say, "Sir, I'm so sorry. Tank, you're a big, fat, clunky tank." They pushed it out of the way. They hit the eject button first. The parachutes didn't deploy for the siege tank. Massive loss for PureLegacy there.
And he certainly tanked a few too many shots. And Future, it does appear that he wants to move into some early aggression as he has a reactor on that starport. He's building Vikings and Vikings and Vikings. In fact, there is no Raven. So Future is really optimizing this build to control the space around the third base, because then you can start shelling into the main and just really putting the hammer and tongs to PureLegacy before he's set up. And Steadfast, look at the supply. Future, he's up 6 workers. He's up almost 25 supply in general, and he will be able to find his position on the high ground. I think earlier you mentioned, I forget what the maps were, but you didn't include Inside and Out as a good tank map. Inside and Out, it is, in my mind, is one of the best tanks maps because of that ramp, that ledge that you can shell away at the natural at.
It is very tough to deal with. Now, Future doesn't know that PureLegacy is coming in from the back. Scan comes in. I actually don't know whose scan that was, but regardless, it is going to be Future getting the win with the tank fight. He keeps both his tanks alive on low HP. Future crushes PureLegacy's army and crushes PureLegacy in game number 1. Not even 6.5 minutes, and we already have a 1-0 lead for Future.
That we do Steadfast. Oh, good.
Every time.
Yeah, he definitely did. Steadfast, my one question for you is, do you ever, the staples buttons? Yeah, you'd hit it?
Yep.
I don't have one. I'm very sad. That was easy.
That was easy.
There we go.
Yeah. It certainly wasn't easy because, it's never easy to win at that level, but Future made that look extremely easy. That was not a problem at all.
No, it was, the only problem was seeing how long it was going to take, I guess. It was, I think, 6 total minutes. You said the number, I forget. Game
6:19, I think, and the victory screen was already up there. It might have even been like 6:15, 6:16, 6:17 when GG was called. It was very quick.
30 seconds from when the game was won, right? If you're a Future fan, the game actually lasted 0 minutes. It was just 6 minutes of PureLegacy coming to terms with the fact that he had already lost to Future. But Data Sea is a bigger map as we move into map 2. I don't know that a swift 1-2 punch is going to be quite as powerful. It just takes a little longer to get there, but we will find out. Is this the last game of the day here for us, or do we move to game 3? I don't know. Steadfast says no. He said it was going to be a 2-0. Let's find out.
And here we go, spawning down on the bottom left. For Infernales Esports, it is PureLegacy.
In the upper right now, in the red. Really, as you said, making it look extremely easy in game 1. He is the Future of Terran from Alpha X. Well, it's Future.
And I noticed something a little bit cheeky right out the gate out of Future. So we've got this awesome overlay. It is amazing. It is the Observer Plus overlay, I believe. And it showed something very interesting about a scout position from Future in the early stages. He looked at this spot with his camera to start things off. That makes me wonder if there might be something cheeky going on. Could have just been, he's going through his camera hotkeys, maybe misclicked on the minimap a little bit. Could be reading into it too much. But I'm going to be keeping extra close eye on any red heading to the top left corner. I'm very interested to see what he does with that.
What we also have to point out here is, I think, first of all, I think this was gas first from Future. I don't think this is... I think that gas was started before the barracks, but what I can tell you for certainty is this is Reaper Expand from PureLegacy. He is leaning into that greed in game number 2, and there's a reason we don't really see any builds that are not the barracks double gas factory idea for the most part. It's because, well, there used to be this circle of counter where Reaper Expand beats gas first, beats 2-Rax Reaper, beats Reaper Expand. And, the Barracks Double Gas Factory kind of deals with both of that, but Steadfast, my profits. You told the Future of Future. There's a STV on the upper left.
There certainly is, and we have got a Reaper into reactor here. Future, he is going to continue to mine gas with everything that he's got. He is going to throw down a proxy starport. It is probably going to be a Liberator or a Medevac. My guess, considering the positioning, I'm thinking Liberator, but we are going to see in just a little bit Both of them give you a ton of aggressive potential. The medevac, obviously, you pair it with the army itself. It heals up the Reapers. You can lift the Hellions on the high ground. Liberator forces the Cyclone to go into the main base, if there even is a Cyclone. To your point, PureLegacy did go for that 1 Rax expand. Future went for the gas, the Barracks double gas. This is going to be tough to hold for PureLegacy. He is going for a what I like to call a Ryung opener in TVT, which is a very quick reactor Hellion play. And that is a lot of defensive power with those Hellions, but it also, it's kind of hit or miss against a build like this. I feel like if you get the lineup shots on the Reapers, it can be amazing.
Oh, no.
And you can just shut down everything. But it also means there's going to be no Cyclone for the anti-air. Oh.
There we go. I was going to say, Steadfast, this brings me... Do you remember the Acheron Battlebee game that we cast?
Acheron Battlebee.
It was on Tropical... I believe it was a Tropical Sacrifice. It was the one that had the proxied... it had the proxy starport that... The MVP starport?
Oh, yeah.
Yeah. Didn't that have a fusion core too?
No, but we had 2 reactors built. We had a tech lab. We had a ton of Vikings being pumped out. Now, it looks like PureLegacy has a good idea of what's going on. He never sent SCVs to the natural, and the reasoning for that is he was able to get a Reaper in. Oh, the grenades are going to come on in. Here's the attempt at the lineup, but some great grenades juggling these Hellions very nicely. However, there's no medevac here. The Viking pushed it away, and this is exactly what I was referring to. I mean, the Hellions actually, even with eating some big grenades, they shut this down so hard they got so much splash damage.
I mean, I think Future got pretty much as much as he could have expected, given the fact that he was fighting 6 Hellions. He was just chock full of light units. But yeah. I am very curious to see what this battlecruiser gets done.
Yes. Hang on. Wait, I swear I saw Command Center in production.
No.
Did he what did I see that was at the natural? I thought I saw red on the minimap, but I must be losing it here. As it stands right now, this is a pretty massive lead for PureLegacy. There are already 2 Vikings on the field. He's building 2 more. I don't know why I guess he's getting a siege tank. He lifted up his barracks. He is going to play mech most likely. So he wants to get that air control. Oh my goodness, he finds the fusion core.
Well, that's unfortunate. I was very excited about the prospect of proxy BC play. Nothing makes me more excited, but there will be a single battlecruiser made in this game. And in fact, I think Future needs to cancel this. I know he's already committed to it, but there are 4 Vikings on the field. There will continue to be more as PureLegacy reactors them out. And I get that you've committed a lot. In fact, he's going to rebuild that tech lab, but Vikings are so good against battlecruisers. Okay, this is actually interesting, though, because he's got 6 Marines in this medevac. I think he's just going to try to bomb them on top of the Vikings so the battlecruiser can do what he needs to do, and there we go. But a tank pops out really at the most opportune time. Tank at the low ground getting shots as well. But maybe the Marines are going to be able to zone the Vikings out? I guess that's the goal, but it doesn't seem to be working out all that well.
It's working out okay. He's already gotten a few SCVs. He needs so much more to make this worthwhile and to make this okay for PureLegacy, or for Future, I should say. But now the Hellions show up. The medevac has already gone down. Can he get any of the Vikings? Obviously, he's going to have to teleport out pretty quickly. He really wants that tank. He's going to stick around. Oh, almost too long. 22 HP on that BC. And he already rebuilt the tech lab. He has doubled down on this. We do see Marines coming into the natural expansion. Did they maybe bomb on top of the tank? It looks like they might have.
Was that
it's pretty low on HP?
I think they ran in. All right, because there was only 1 medevac died. That was the medevac that got dropped into the main base. All the Marines that were in the main base in that drop died. So I think they just ran into the natural and somehow got on top. Maybe the tank was unsieged, not sure. But Yamato.
Yeah, he's doubling down hard, and it is quite literally pure tank Viking right now for PureLegacy. And Future has 1 battlecruiser, another one that is going to be hitting the field soon. He has no Yamato for them. I feel like Future should just get absolutely run over and killed right now. Like, there should be no way to stop this.
Yeah, I think we're looking at, I think you were doing a great job of telling the future here, Steadfast. I think we're going to go to game 3. I appreciated the memes. The memes make me excited. Proxy BCs, they tickle a particular cockle of my heart that often goes unscratched. But I don't know how you stop this. In fact, I wouldn't even mind seeing the Vikings land on the tanks. There's just nothing there to kill them. Tanks sieged up the third base. Vikings, they're just going to land in the main base. SCVs will fall. BCs actually are on the other side of the map. So the Vikings, they're not where they need to be. And are we hitting base trade scenario here?
Well, so this is the worst thing PureLegacy could do, is send the Vikings home, I think. But he also can't deal with this with just the Vikings that he has. He's going to get Yamato'd if he does. Yamato Cannon is going to finish out very shortly. We will see that Viking. Oh, it gets repaired. Okay, oh my god, and the missile turret gets so much damage. All right, now it is enough Vikings to actually force this to go back home. Yamato, okay, no, he needs to teleport right now. Teleport. Oh, just barely saves that BC. The other one does drop the Yamato Cannon. He will teleport out with the second BC, but because he took so much damage from the missile turret, he now cannot actually fight these Vikings until he repairs up, and that means that the Vikings are going to reinforce for PureLegacy, and I think he gets to hold his position. That was actually the best case scenario for Future to try and turn this game around. He does have these BCs repaired on up, but that was enough time for now 3 more Vikings to show up. Okay. I thought we were going to see Yamato on and like 4 Vikings die at minimum for PureLegacy.
So I want to point out 2 things, Steadfast. First and foremost, the reactor was killed. He's not really rebuilding it. Second of all, PureLegacy scanned everywhere, but he still missed the battlecruisers. Third one's going to teleport in here, but the Yamatos are not going down. 1 battlecruiser is dead. Vikings, they shred this, but actually no battlecruisers are getting on top of this.
Just gonna wreck them.
The Vikings are dead. Typically, Vikings are fantastic against this army. Vikings do bonus damage to massive units. Battlecruisers are massive units, and they can kite much better, but Future took a great attack angle, and now this position that PureLegacy had is going to be shoved back. That being said, PureLegacy's on 4 bases. Future is only just now taking his 3rd, but we are mech versus mech, and it takes a long time for mech versus get mech games to resolve.
That it does. It was looking like PureLegacy was going to be able to kill him here. Oh, did he scan? Did he actually see? Okay, he did see the no, he already saw the fusion core. Oh, he wait, what? Why did he scan to see if there was a base there? Interesting. Yeah, PureLegacy botched the Viking micro tremendously there. He like stood on top of the BCs, which means the BCs. So Vikings are good against BCs if the Vikings kite. They are extremely good if the Vikings kite. If the Vikings do not kite and the BCs get their damage on, they do huge damage, massive damage. And that's what happens. And now we're at a situation where there's only 4 Vikings on the field. He's not producing anymore. He's got double starport. But if Future teleports this 3rd BC in, Yamato's down 3 of the Vikings, he might just end the game with like 3 BCs.
And Steadfast, by the way, I love the fact that Hellions were being used to try to kill the tech lab. That is for that starport. But you're absolutely right here. The battlecruisers are pretty much uncontested. That being said, there are 4 Vikings on the way at a time. So there is a timer on this position that Future has been able to build for himself. Luckily, I believe the BCs were running. They did not teleport in, so they should be able to escape here. And the 4th base of PureLegacy has been broken. In fact, there's anti-air, so theoretically, this base may go down. I think there's probably going to be enough repair. But now Future's the one that's taken his 4th base. PureLegacy has been forced off his, and it's starting to burn. Oh, battlecruiser goes down. Oh, mistakes there.
Great. Yeah, that was a really greedy Yamato right there. I was going to say he overstayed his welcome massively, and now with the Cyclones coming out with the Vikings here, Future is in a tough position. He needs to stand and fight to try and get some value from this army, but he's just going to lose everything, and I feel like that is the momentum swung hard enough back in the favor of PureLegacy that he should be able to go for a push. Future, though, does have the faster Megfield Accelerator. Unfortunately for him, he's got no Cyclones on the field, so that's actually not going to help him too much. Oh. Cyclone. Oh, PureLegacy runs out of range. He had the lock on and he could have stayed there. He runs out of range. The Viking count is now tremendously high, and another BC shows up from the back. Future's just being able to continuously build these. Ooh, PureLegacy is going to jump on top of this. The repair is going to be enough, actually. Oh, wow. And now another Viking goes down, and once again, we are at a situation where there's not enough anti-air to deal with these BCs. This has been Future playing the situation so much better, but in such a worse position that it's ended up making an extremely close and even and back and forth game.
Steadfast, how, please, we're 13 minutes into this game. How is this proxy starport at the northwest side of the map that has built, what are we at? We're at 4 BCs, 2 more have died, that has built 6 battle cruisers in this game. How has this been allowed to keep producing?
Yeah, I don't know. It shouldn't have. It certainly should not have. Yamato is still on cooldown for a little while, by the way. It is 4 Vikings at a time. Ooh, is teleport available on a couple of them? Yes. At least one of these does have Yamato. Actually, he's attacking into the missile turrets right now. It is a bit of a concave from the Vikings. Nice micros from Future with the BCs. We will see the tanks of PureLegacy getting huge damage done. And the Viking count is too high now. Command center falls. Last battle cruiser is able to teleport out. Ooh. Oh, those are some very unlucky Cyclones. Vikings are on the hunt, and they are going to be able to take down these VCs. And I think with this, the final hope of Future will fall. The tank count is so massively in favor of PureLegacy. It is literally tank Viking again, but it is going to get the job done here. And Future, he played fun, he played funky, but it is not going to be enough in this game.
Yeah, unfortunately, you talk about literally tank Viking. The big problem with Future's setup is, A, he didn't have Cyclones when he needed them, and that doesn't even kill the missile turret. Oh, good repair there from Pure Legacy. But his Cyclones have been zoned out, right? He's not been able to use the Cyclones as appropriately. If he locks on, if he's like 4 or 5 Cyclones, and he locks on to all of the Vikings, between the BCs and the Vikings, he will be able to kill all the Vikings, especially as they commit forward. And then you just have you have BCs sitting on top of tanks, and that just is fantastic for the BC player. Unfortunately, the Cyclones were not where they need to be. Future, we can see him trying to hit the flank with that, but at this point, I think you're right. We're going to game 3. Really interesting game, though.
Yeah, very funky. Future memeing a little bit too close to the sun there. We will see a little Cyclone counterattack. Cyclones do incredible damage versus buildings with their Magfield Accelerator, but there's already a mass repair coming on in. It is only 4 Cyclones, so he doesn't instantly like one-shot it or, you know, like 3 or 4 volley it. He'll be able to get a couple of Vikings on the way out. You can see PureLegacy using his entire army to go after this. And actually, Future kind of baiting him into a pre-siege position, but there's just so many more tanks here for PureLegacy. It is still going to be too much. Probably about the best engagement Future could have gotten at the very end. Little bit of a bait, but PureLegacy had already won the game by that point. Weird setup, weird game, but a fun game.
Yeah. You know, Steadfast, one thing we got to point out here. Well, first of all, you're wrong. We're going to game 3. But, I mean, secondarily, I feel like we've said, wow, this is the best fight the Future possibly could have taken. Probably 4 or 5 times in that game. And he still lost. I'm going to go out on a limb here. I don't really think Proxy BC is the best build. Although, I mean, Gobion made it work in the GSL, so what do I know?
Well, that's the thing, is it's a straight up cheese. And it's a cheese in the purest sense of, if it gets scouted early, the build pretty much fails. And that was even with Future PureLegacy making a couple of pretty brutal micro mistakes, to be perfectly honest. Like, it's no knock on him, but like, there was a couple of times where the Vikings got caught by BCs multiple times. He did have the presence of mind to go double port reactor Viking, and that is what you need against that. You can, of course, go Magfield Accelerator and rely on that, or even Ravens can disable the BCs. But even then, with the Ravens, it's a little tricky, because if you fire the interference matrix off and the teleport starts, doesn't have to finish, it just starts, the interference matrix will hit, but it will not cancel the teleport, and it already starts counting down while the unit is teleporting away.
Oh, I mean, I guess that makes sense. But interesting. The things you don't know about these interactions because you never see them happening. But luckily, Steadfast is the encyclopedia of StarCraft knowledge. You know, he's also the encyclopedia of getting into games. We're going into it. In the upper left, He slapped aside, just barely, but he did slap aside that Proxy BC play. He is for Infernalis, looking for yet another upset here in DreamHack North America. It's PureLegacy.
And his opponent, spawning down on the bottom right, coming in with the meme strats. But let's hope he sees some dream strats. It is Alpha X's Future. And I think we can say with a strong degree of confidence that we're probably not going to see Proxy BCs in game number 3. If Future risks it all on that, that would be wild. Now, actually something that is rather wild from Future, and you mentioned in game number 2, we saw the Gas First Reaper Expand. Future has elected to go Reaper Expand in game number 3. He is scouting around for a Proxy 2 racks, but me, oh my, this is a greedy setup. He's, wait, no, please don't build the command center back here. Okay, he's just checking for the Proxy racks Reaper. I was like, if you build the command center back there, I'm gonna have a conniption. You do the greediest build and you do it the worst way possible. Would have made me very, very antsy and angsty, but fortunately we don't see that.
Yeah, I'm glad you don't have to suffer from teen angst steadfast, as we discussed earlier. You are an established adult caster. You don't have to deal with that. And, you know, certainly, for your next birthday, remind me to get you a cane, by the way, just so we hammer that one home. But, there we go. But, on this map, as the Reapers will pass each other by, PureLegacy is going to be able to see that this is a Reaper expansion. You'll see the natural on the way. It will be delayed. There's no stopping that one, but PureLegacy drops it down right as the Reaper arrives. That's a bit unfortunate. He didn't have to do that.
No, he did not. Future, though, what is he doing? I cannot believe that he has just done this, going for the Reaper across the map, and he's going to get rewarded for it. He is... oh, my goodness. This is Big Gabe. He is still alive, but he is still rolling in his grave. Just conceptually about all of this. One racks expand, you send the Reaper across the map, then your opponent, oh my god, he jumps back in. He gets the SCV, good for him, but like, I don't know. Oh my, hello? Future? Oh my, what? Future, what are we doing? What is that micro?
What is this? I feel like I've wanted to say this in the last several, certainly game 2. It's like, we are watching a game. I'm not convinced it's StarCraft. This was game 2 as well. These players they're making decisions, and I wonder how deeply Future thinks he's in PureLegacy's head and vice versa. Like how much of this is prep as the Reaper on the high ground, but Hellion is there. How much of this is kind of the prep of knowing each other well enough that they're going, Future and PureLegacy are making the decisions that they think their opponent will not expect, so they go for it, except their opponents are expecting it.
Yeah, I mean, it's... the thing is, there's no justifying sending... Okay, well, maybe you can justify like a super weird meta build, but he didn't scout his opponent, so he didn't know what was up. Like, it's so risky to go with that Reaper across the map. And it like worked out okay, but then the Reaper miss micro is like, we just don't see that out of Future at all. Like that just doesn't happen. I don't know what to tell you. Now, this is amazing. This Hellion spotting this drop, he is already well in position for it. Pulls the Cyclone back just a little bit. Might be able to catch PureLegacy committing. This is an old school build, by the way, from PureLegacy. He did it in game 1. Oh, Future. What?
Future, please. This is a bit of a problem now. Hellion takes a lot of damage, and Raven feels the need to drop an auto turret, but will he... Oh, okay, medevac boosts out just barely. Now the Raven energy's gone. And a Reaper and a Hellion will dive into the natural. They don't kill workers too quickly, but they kill them quickly enough, so 2 SCVs will go down. Actually, might even be just a little bit more. Future, what are you doing in this game, my friend? 3 workers go down. He's gonna lose 6. He's gonna lose 6 workers, almost a 7th. The Cyclone didn't lock on. He just didn't click on it. He had to spend Raven energy to knock down a drop that he doesn't even kill the medevac with.
This is unexpected, to say the very least. Future I was touting him as a micro player, but his micro has been unclean in this game number 3. He's made a few missteps. He rallied his Marines into the bunker, so they didn't deal with the Hellions. He didn't do anything to save his SCVs there. Just a lot of messy stuff. And now he's moving out for a push, which is very dedicated. He is getting a 3rd command center behind it, but he's gonna try and get something done. There are a lot of Vikings already on the field here for PureLegacy, which means he's going to be well set up to deal with this. But if the tanks can siege the reactor, that will be good for Future.
I don't think it matters. The Ravens are just going to get shot down, and once the Ravens are done, you don't have any anti-air. I mean, the reactor will fall. I don't think that much is stopping that. A lot of Raven energy was committed to that tech lab as well.
Oh, get it? Get the reactor rebuild. He could have killed it, but that does not go for that. He will be able to get out of here. Okay, yes, he does, and he keeps the Ravens alive. So this is still good for Future. He is kind of battling back in this game. He's not in a terrible spot. Ooh, PureLegacy. Oh no, he's walking into a trap. Does lose one of his tanks. Fortunately, he turns around before he loses all of them. But that could have been nasty. Future though, wait, what are we doing now with our tank positioning? This is a little bit weird.
I feel like
he could have just disengaged to the south and it would have been a little bit safer, but he still saves all his tanks.
I feel like every time we see Future do a good thing, we see he just immediately follows up with something that is far less optimal. And I don't know what I don't know what's up with this game, but certainly is that okay? He does have his 3rd base. I was rather worried that this was actually going to be a 5 racks off 2 bases, which is just that's a good way to lose a TVT. PureLegacy is going for mech here in this game number 3. He has 4 factories on the way. He's gonna have a lot of production in the next 30 seconds.
Yeah, he certainly is. It is going to be a lot of stuff. He's got his 3rd base landed. He took the aggressive forward 3rd, and despite the fact that Future was claiming map control and going aggressive, he took his 3rd base in the back. So his economy, despite having more SCVs, being up 6 workers right now, it's in a little while going to go in the favor of PureLegacy. Now we do see a nice supply depot spotting this army. The tanks are not sieged up in a great spot for PureLegacy, but Future, hello? Okay, he's going to drop a couple of interference matrices, but he's kind of hemming and hawing with his units. He gets the front 2 tanks, and he does find himself in a good position. I feel like we're being hypercritical of Future, but like I'm just not used to seeing him make these kind of moves. He does get his tanks into an amazing position in the natural though, and he is going to kill so many SCVs.
He's going to lose all these tanks though. Vikings, I think, just land on top of this if PureLegacy is aware of everything, but he's not doing that. He wants to maintain air superiority, and yeah, you're right, Steadfast. It's critical as we have been about Future and how we've seen a lot of uncharacteristic mistakes. I think at the end of the day, he's up about 14 workers. He has pushed the natural to the pocket base. He has this position that is now sectioning the main out from the 3rd. So Future has wedged himself into a fantastic position here. And now notice this, he's going to re-siege, and the Vikings still don't want to land. But he's done tremendous damage to PureLegacy. Damage that might be enough to leverage himself into a lead. But what a weird way to get there.
A very weird way to get there. Good job from PureLegacy, by the way. He did scan, and he wanted to see what the status of Future's economy was. Oh, good job. Uses a Liberator now to clear things out, thanks to that air superiority. And he will run down at least 1 Viking. Even though it's a supply lead for Future, I'm like not minding PureLegacy's position at all. He's going to be able to reestablish his natural. He does need more SCV production, but he is certainly in a decent position in this game, and now he's going to actually get a great siege up on Future's side of the map. Ooh, the Vikings will be able to provide high ground vision, and he actually loses the tank duel. Well, it ends up being 1-for-1 basically, which, considering the fact that there's air superiority, is pretty good for PureLegacy. Future, I don't think you can fight this. Oh, he might try and stim it on top of this from the one side, but this is he's getting forced back by the Liberators. Okay, if he counterattacks with the whole army, that's kind of a neat idea. True, PureLegacy only has a couple of units. Vikings of PureLegacy are going to get spotted here. Oh, Future, the rally, he rallies right into his opponent's tanks. not so great. And now, ooh, good split from Future. He's going to try and get in on these 4 siege tanks, and he will be able to break through this. It is an orbital command at the front. This is going to be a lot of SCV damage, but the Liberator is pushing Future back on Future's side of the map.
And against it, that's what I was saying earlier. It feels like every time Future does something good, he marries it with something bad or vice versa. But PureLegacy may have... No. Okay, he's fine. The tanks are still there. He's now shelling away at this base. Marines, they show up, and the Marines are not defended by the... Or the Liberator, excuse me, not defended by the tanks. Vikings land, and they take a lot of damage. They go back up again. Meanwhile, the third base has been forced to lift into the main base. 12 SCVs have gone down. We actually have SCV on SCV combat because there are 4 SCVs from Future on PureLegacy side of the map, but Future loses his 4th base. In fact, I think it died, not even just canceled on the planetary.
Both of them lost their 4th. I mean, technically, it's PureLegacy's 3rd. We're going to see an attempt to break this. That is so many Marauders from Future. And the tanks... Oh my, well, Future actually getting bungled up there a little bit. His own tank kind of body blocking just a wee bit, but it is still going to be more than enough to break this. Future is rallying forward. PureLegacy does have 4 tanks coming down at a time. This bio is pretty bruised up from Future, so his supply lead, it is a strong supply lead. Oh, PureLegacy, oh, he's going to lose 2 of his Vikings, almost loses a 3rd. Good job from Future to not stim right there. He really can't afford to. But man, this game is so weird.
Steadfast, I don't know if you noticed, but Future, he got his armor upgrade and only just now is getting his +1 attack for his bio.
Okay, and he's on double engine. Okay. Yeah, I don't know what to make of this game at this point. It's all over the place.
And against tanks in particular, the bonus damage they do, if there is a matchup, if there is a version of TVT where you can kind of get away with not getting an upgrade, not getting armor upgrade, it is this one.
Yep. Whereas the +1 attack, you really want that, particularly when you're going this heavy on Marauders as Future is doing, because you are going to get so much bonus damage versus tanks. You're going to get so much bonus damage versus those tanks, so having the +1 attack is quite nice. It adds on a lot of DPS. I'm actually not sure what the map is, but now we're seeing a weird situation where 12 of those Marauders have been sent to the left side. He scans his opponent's army, thinks maybe I can drop in the middle and try and flank this army, but he says, no, I want to get in on top of your production. He is stimming heavily. This is pretty much all of his medevacs with energy. We are going to see a cancel on the newest base from Future. Ooh, Marauders are going to get in on top of these freshly sieged tanks, and now they are freshly dead tanks.
Well, now we're seeing definitely the benefit of getting +1 armor for +1 attack, I guess. I don't really think so. But now, yep, Future has found a great position here into his opponent's natural. 16 more SCVs go down, 71-43 in favor of Future. And the Vikings aren't there to defend it, absolutely. But he bungles the drop a little bit. He drops it on the high. It doesn't matter. He still gets all the tanks, I think. But he loses a little bit more than he should have. Still, more tanks will arrive. Vikings here, but Vikings just sitting on Marines is a great way to lose all of your Vikings. Future continues to stim on forward. And finally, this game is over. Future is the